Hey there everybody, American Phoenix. Decided to come back at you and make another cooking video. Well, this video is for one person in particular, but I hope that you all can enjoy it and learn something. So today we're going to go ahead and make some hot sauce. And this is a little different than my normal hot sauce. Usually I use chili piquins. For some reason I'm really having a hard time finding those right now. I really don't know why, but it is what it is. So let me give you a quick rundown of everything you need. And okay, so first, jalapeno peppers. These are cheap. Buy a few extra. I actually got a couple extra. I'm gonna go ahead and cut them, probably strip the seeds out, save those for drying. Then I'm gonna stuff them full of cream cheese and bacon and make some good stuff. Next, serrano peppers. Again, very cheap, and you don't need as many. Whatever pepper you use the most of usually is going to be the dominant flavor of your hot sauce. That's why I'm only going to use about half of those and probably 2/3 of these, because I have a special ingredient that really is going to make this chili next level. Okay, you're going to need yellow onion. I am very partial to yellow onion personally. You can technically use whatever kind you want, but I like yellow onion. You're going to need a head of garlic. Yes, the whole head. Trust me, it's important. Now, your habaneros. Habaneros, for some reason, where I'm at right now, are really expensive. This was $4 for this little thing. But that's okay. They taste really good. And I really like it. They're going to add some sweetness to your chili. Okay. Then we have right here some frozen peppers. These are all a gift from my dad. These are, what's the actual name of these? Hot Sandia chilies. I always just call them green chilies. But yes, so these need to thaw out, but these are already processed. These are going to be going in at the end along with our final ingredient. Now, the final ingredient, and these I just can't get over. These are given to us by a friend of the family. These are extra hot, pre-roasted Hatch chili. If you've never had Hatch chili, you really need to get some. I mean, seriously, they are my favorite pepper in the world. Because it doesn't matter if they are mild Hatch or hot Hatch, or in these cases, extremely hot Hatch, they all have the same flavor. The only thing that changes is the heat profile. So if you can get your hands on Hatch, do it. Because that is going to be our main flavor for this hot sauce. In this case, they're already pre-roasted. They're already, all that work's done with them, so I won't have to do that. Again, these are going to defrost. These are going to go in at the end after we put in everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and change the camera angle. While these are defrosting, we're going to go through and do everything else, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Alrighty, let's go ahead and start on this. Now, I do apologize, folks, because I kind of messed something up. I forgot to mention, you're going to need tomatoes. So, with these, you can do however you want. I like to head and tail them, but that's a personal preference. So you're just going to put in as many as you want. Usually I use bigger slicing tomatoes. Those just were not available where I was shopping. So just go ahead and use what you have. Romas are good, you know. The thing about Roma tomatoes in hot sauce, though, is it's very deceiving. Because, oh, this one's a little soft. That's fine, it doesn't matter. But Roma tomatoes in a hot sauce are kind of deceiving because they add a lot of flavor, but they do not add a ton of moisture. So you're going to have to be careful. If you want a little bit of a drier sauce, and again, I understand how weird that is because it's a sauce, but you're going to add a few less. If you want a wetter sauce, you add a few more. Okay, so that's just how that goes. I'm going to go for somewhere right in the middle. And just go ahead. Alright, now these are going to get roasted up. And I'm not roasting them at the moment because in order to do that, I have to turn the truck on, and that messes with the audio quality. So I'm basically going to be showing you guys everything put into the pan, explaining what I'm doing. I'll be doing the roasting and everything off camera, show you the final result of that, and just walk you through the steps from there. So, we're going to go ahead and get this turned on. We're going to get the tomatoes roasted up, and I'm going to show you guys what to do next. Tomatoes are roasted. Now, again, I apologize for forgetting to tell you this step, but after you roast everything, you got to put it into a Ziploc bag. All right, that's going to allow, as you can see, all the excess moisture is coming out here, and it's just going to make these a lot better when you don't have all that excess moisture in there. So, now we're going to go ahead and do the peppers. So, with peppers, very simple, just stem them. That's it. That's all you got to do. You don't need to sit here and, cut the tip off. You can if you want to. I never do. I don't think that it's a necessary step. So, just going to go ahead, cut up a bunch of these. Well, and again, not even really a bunch, because like I said earlier, my main flavor in this is going to be my hatch. So, I'm just going to cut as many as I feel is necessary. And that's really the thing with hot sauces. There's going to be trial, there's going to be error. You're going to add too much of one thing one time, and then next time you're going to dial it back, and eventually you're going to get to the point where you have a perfect recipe for your taste. That is the biggest thing about hot sauce, is that this is all to your taste. So these are my serranos. As you can see, they look like little miniature, I don't know, like a mix between jalapenos and green beans. And very good. They add a good amount of flavor. They do not add a ton of heat. So that's something to keep in mind. If you want this to be your dominant flavor, but you want a hot sauce, you're going to have to add something. That is really where I use my chili piquins, because they don't add flavor. They really don't. A chili piquin is pretty tasteless. But what it does add, it adds a good amount of heat. So, keep that in mind. And there's a lot of peppers that do that. So just keep that in mind as you're going and doing this for yourself. Now it actually has a leaf still stuck on it. Okay. So, there's all of my green peppers that I'm going to use at this stage. Like I said, I'm going to be adding the other peppers to this later. And now, we got the fun ones, the habaneros. People are generally kind of scared of habaneros because they are a hotter pepper. I can't deny that. But ultimately, for me, the reason why I use them is not so much for heat. You're going to see I'm not adding a ton of these. I use them for flavor because they add a sweetness to your chili. So, just again, chop as many as you feel are necessary. I will say this, if you have a low spice tolerance, okay, and that's totally fine to have a low spice tolerance. Half my family cannot eat my hot sauce because it's just too hot. And frankly, I can't eat the hot sauce that my brother does. That dude's crazy. So, having a low heat tolerance is fine. Just remember, when it comes to making hot sauce, there is trial and error. This is not an expensive process, but it's one that I feel is very rewarding. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to get all these roasted up. I'm going to put them in the bag. I got to clean up all this mess right here. And then once those are all in the bag, by then my other peppers should be nice and thawed out. And at that point, we're just going to put everything into the bag, let it set, let it get all that extra moisture out. Then we're going to go ahead and put that into a blender with our garlic and with our onion. I like to put those in raw, and then you put in a pinch of salt. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you guys. All the veggies are nice and roasted up, so now it's time to get to blending. So, in here, we've got all of our jalapenos, some serranos, tomato. And you might have to add this in batches as you're blending it. Like, I've got a lot here. It does blend down to quite a bit less, just pure liquid. There's a lot of extra space in these peppers. Now shake them off. Okay, you're trying to leave a lot of the liquid behind, but do not throw that out. Well, I mean, you can if you want to. But see, personally, I always save the liquid. And I don't try to save it for days, mind you. But I'll go ahead and make my hot sauce. And then I'll make some refried beans. And I take the juice from all this, from the chilies, from the tomatoes and everything. And I add that in to the pan while the beans are heating up. And it'll just evaporate off, but it leaves behind just a ton of really delicious flavor. So that's just a little thing that you can do if you want to add a little bit more flavor to your beans and stuff. And I'm going to get the last of that. Last of that. And if I can get this stupid piece off. There we go. Alright. So that is all the ingredients that we just roasted. Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead, and these are the hot Sandia chilies. Ooh, those smell delicious. These in here. That's one package. I'm going to do 2 packages. And be careful not to overfill your blender. We're kind of getting to the point now where I don't want to add too much, so I'll be adding other stuff later. What I will do is I'm going to add the garlic to this right now. As I said, you're going to use a lot of garlic. That's a whole head of garlic. Put that in there, and I'm going to go ahead and add my pinch of salt. No, the bottle is not necessary. I just think it looks cool. Okay. Excuse me, folks. I apologize for that. Okay. Now let's just give this a couple quick pulses. Okay, you see how it just immediately drops the level? Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add some of the onion. And this does not need to be, and I'm just using a wedge. It does not need to be fine cut because it's going into a blender. I'm just cutting it up a little bit. You know, but like I said, does not need to be fine cut by any means. Go ahead and give that just a couple more pulses. I hope that that's not too loud on your ears. I really do. Now, the most important part, the hatch. We're gonna try to get all of this in there. We don't want to lose nothing out of this. This is the good stuff. This is the money right here. So that's one bag. Gonna pulse it down a little bit. Now we're going to add the other bag. Don't spill a drop of this. Okay? So, got a little bit high on that. I don't usually like it that high, but that's fine for this. Okay. Push this down. These are still a little frozen, but that's okay. It'll work just fine. Okay. And now we're just going to blend it and just turn it on, let it go, start off at a slow speed. And what you can see there is as it's, you know, cycling, you can see the top being pulled down. That's what you want. This part you really can't rush. You just have to let it go nice and slow. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with really big chunks. So that's where we're at right now. That's my sauce done. You know, I'm going to keep blending it up. I'll do that off camera so I don't keep killing your guys' ears. But that's it. That's all it takes to make a good hot sauce. We'll be back here at the end for a taste test. Well, folks, that's it. We're all done. For the taste test, I went ahead and made up a couple tortillas and some beans. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. Yes, I'm using a spatula to take the tortilla out. Do not tell my grandma. She will kill me. Right. So, I'm going to go ahead and start by just putting a little bit of beans on here. And these beans, I did use that excess juice from the tomatoes and the peppers and everything to go ahead and cook down with this. Other than that, it's just some basic refried beans, a little bit of fat, some cooked beans, and you add that all into a pot, let it get nice and warm, and then you mix it up. So here's just one little jar. This is my excess jar. Take a nice little spoonful of this. I am going to warn you guys right now, if you try to use the exact recipe that I just did, this is hot. Okay, it's delicious, don't get me wrong, but it's very, very hot. Okay. So as you can see, a good smear of that, and then go ahead and mix it around a little. You don't really have to do this step, I just like doing it so that way everything's nice and incorporated. Alrighty. Grab my spoon, spread it all out nice and even. Now, right. Cheers. Whew. Like I said, that's got some heat to it, but that is really delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, and I love you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I'll be coming back at you guys another time with something new. Talk to you later. Bye.